it gonna be any good? Hello, welcome to I Did Not Read This Book with Chris. With me, I'm Chris. Today is a book haul. These are a bunch of books I've gotten since the last time I showed you a bunch of books. While doing that, I got some French press. What did I get? I've gotten two new cookbooks. The French Country Table, Simple Recipes for Bistro Classics. And then I got 10-Minute Sourdough. I want to make bread, but I work a lot, so I don't have time. So apparently, there's ways to make bread for people who don't have a whole lot of time, where you make it and then you come back a day later or whatever. And so hopefully, I will read this and make some bread, and then make some French stuff. So I've got a huge little collection of random things. I've been working on reading the Stainless Steel Rat series, which I am a huge fan of. So I have somewhere over here, this is my current stuff that I had. And this one has multiple books in it. But I went and purchased the rest of the series. So the Stainless Steel Rat joins the circus. The Stainless Steel Rat sings the blues, and the Stainless Steel Rat goes to hell. So these ones I went out of my way, bought them on eBay. Questioning if I didn't know this was a hardcover. I didn't pay too much attention. But I have one hardcover and the rest of the series is now in paperback. So I'm not going to go out of my way to buy a paperback of this. But if I do come across it, I probably will pick up that. So it'll at least all be paperback. Stainless Steel Rat is a great series. Probably not good enough to do videos about it in the individual books, but just a fast, quick-paced stuff. Continuing on, I also bought this on eBay, The Salmon of Doubt by Douglas Adams. I believe this one was posthumous. On Friday, May 11th, 2001, the world mourned the untimely passing of Douglas Adams. So, this is, I think, a collection of his writings and other things about Douglas Adams. Don't know a whole lot about it, but on the list of books of Douglas Adams, this kept popping up, so I bought it. A lot of books that are cobbled together out of someone who died posthumously. They aren't super great because they don't have that final polish that the author was able to give them. However, I am excited for it. We shall see. The Bobiverse. I bought. This is the second book in the series for We Are Many. So for the Bobiverse, they are doing a reprinting of it. These came out about 10 years ago, I believe. Yeah, this one's 2017, yeah. So this one came out 9 years ago. And they're doing a second printing where they're doing everything all fancy. And so I heard it was good. I bought the first one. Loved it. So I actually pre-ordered all of the rest of them. So they will just show up because they're like a month or so, maybe 2 months apart for this new printing where they're all in this. And I'm not normally a guy to get hyped about any of this stuff and these new fancy dancy printings, but I am excited for the Bobiverse. Isaac Asimov, The Fantastic Voyage #2, Destination Brain. So I love The Fantastic Voyage by Isaac Asimov. It's a book where people are shrunk down to the size of a bacteria and shot inside of someone into their vein in order to do some surgery from the inside. Crazy, wacky stuff. And I came across this one in a book buy, and thankfully it's not worth any money, so I get to keep it. Fantastic Voyage #2. I have no idea if it's going to be any good. Apparently it's 20 years, written 20 years after the first one. My guess is it's not going to be nearly as good. However, I have to read it. So, Jamie Mollart, Kings of a Dead World. This one I got at a book sale. I believe it was on Bag Day, so it didn't cost basically anything. First published in 2021, this one it came out in 2022. Inside a hibernating city, Ben struggles with his waking time and the disease stealing his wife from him. Watching over the sleepers, lonely Peruzzi craves the family he never knew. So I don't know a whole lot about it. It's new. It looks fun. A lot of new stuff is not very good. A lot of new stuff is also pretty okay. It is definitely a lot more modern than you will see me reading generally. But I picked it up because it didn't cost a whole lot and looks fun. Alrighty. Looking Backward by Edward Bellamy. I actually already have one of these, a copy of this book. I believe it's also it's another old hardcover, but it does not have the dust jacket, so this one looks really cool with the dust jacket. I really need to read this one. Apparently, Looking Backward belongs in the same world as it's an early utopian book. Think like Brave New World or Erewhon or Fahrenheit 451. Apparently it's in that vein, but it's written earlier than that. Written in 1887. So in Erewhon or... Alrighty, there we go. Yeah, so think Gulliver's Travels or Erewhon or something like that. Apparently it's quite good, so now I have a copy. I can keep another copy to give away. The last two books I have go into my collection of books. Go into series I have that are series continued by other people. Jeeves and the Leap of Faith by Ben Schott. There we go. So P.G. Wodehouse is my favorite author, and this is a continuation of that series by this guy, Ben Schott. Some of these books that are continued about P.G. Wodehouse are good, and some of them aren't. This is the sequel to Jeeves and the King of Clubs, which I have read, which is also by this guy, I believe. So, and then The Lost Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, based on the original radio plays by Dennis Green and Anthony Boucher. Sherlock Holmes has a lot of books that are about Sherlock Holmes written by other people. Because Sherlock Holmes was written before copyright laws got changed, and so they were writing books about Sherlock Holmes. As far as I can tell, into like the beginning of the 30s, it might even be earlier than that. Other people were writing Sherlock Holmes books besides just Arthur Conan Doyle. But apparently, radio plays were made by about Sherlock Holmes, and then these are based off that. Yeah. When radio broadcasts of Sherlock Holmes stories were first aired in the 1940s, the avid Holmes readers were thrilled. Although the early radio scripts were based on Conan Doyle stories, they often dealt with questions unanswered by the original. These puzzles and many others are solved in this collection of The Lost Adventure of Sherlock Holmes. Is it going to be any good? People took Sherlock Holmes, converted them into radio stories, and then continued to write on them, to change the stories, to add to it, to answer questions people were wondering about. I don't know if it's going to be any good. Probably not going to be super exciting, but it is Sherlock Holmes. So, alrighty. Thanks for watching.